Hello again, and thank you for joining us. My name is Akwesi Opong. This is Couples Date Night, and thanks for joining us again. Today we are talking about being unforgettable and what are the things that you do that make you unforgettable. And as I mentioned earlier, that if you want to review all the resources that we have, you can visit our website, which is www.enjoylifewithyourspouse.org, and you can have access to all the resources that we have on our podcast. So, as we move along in our discussion today, we talked about a wide range of things before our break or the first part of this discussion, and we looked at people who are unforgettable, some of the things that we can do to be unforgettable, and we also looked at examples of people in biblical history who did unforgettable things that really stuck with the people around them. And as we go along, we are going to take a deep dive and also look at a few more things, and also look at things that husbands can do to make them unforgettable, or wives can also do. So, one of the things that can make you very unforgettable is basically being honest. Honesty makes you very, very unforgettable when you have the courage to stand when the wrong is being done, or you have the opportunity to say or do something which it's not right, but you, irrespective or regardless of the repercussions, you decide to do the right thing. It always helps to make you unforgettable, and it even comes down to your relationship, that if you say you'll do something for your wife and you do it, you commit to doing it, that actually deepens the trust in your relationship. It strengthens the bond. If you go out of your way to do something for your husband, even on a very busy day, all those things, honesty, it shows through in everything you do, helps to build you up when it comes to how unforgettable you are. We've already talked about generosity, but another thing too is kindness. If you express kindness in people in your relationship, being kind means that you don't have all the resources or the time, but you make what you have work. Or you give some of what you have, whether it's time or money or things, but you always show kindness. And kindness can come in a form of forgiveness as well. Because if you forgive somebody, you're showing a form of kindness, because you could have, lived in bitterness and pain and all of that, but you just decide that I'm going to be warm, kind, and friendly. These things will really help us to really build our relationships. So this is something unforgettable people have in common. They will never treat other people poorly, and that speaks volumes about them. So let us make sure we treat other people well, because I'm sure when Abigail was doing all those nice things, well, she thought she was saving her family, but people were watching, and I believe that contributed to making her a first lady. Even though she probably wasn't the only first lady, if you read the account of David. So, being self-confident and staying humble is another thing. So, are you self-confident? Confidence is good. It's a good virtue to have. When you're confident, you're able to speak up when you need to. And being humble is also very important. It always sticks out. Look at all the people in our history who are very humble people. Like, I think when we talk about humility, the first person we all think about is Mother Teresa, who was a very humble person. And I think that we all talk about her. She's unforgettable because she was a very humble person, and she was always willing to make other people's lives better. So let us make sure that we remember that our flaws doesn't make us unlikable. They make us authentic, and there's nothing more beautiful than that. So even if we have flaws, as long as we know that we're humble and we have our self-confidence, it helps us to really shine through in everything that we do. Yes. So, unforgettable. Another thing that will make us unforgettable is when we take care of ourselves, self-love, taking care of yourself. Self-love or taking care of yourself is not being selfish. It's making sure you're protecting this one body that you have to make sure you're healthy, that you look good, that you're professional and all of that. So taking care of ourselves is very, very important. When you truly love yourself, you automatically take care of yourself as you would do with a loved one. Because you want to be the best for yourself, you also want to be the best for other people as well. And that makes you unforgettable. So taking care of yourself makes you unforgettable. Remember that consistently loving and taking care of yourselves gives you the fuel you need to be at your best every day. So that means that if you are able to take care of yourself, you are able to also do things for other people. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you are not able to. And there's so much we can say about that. It means that you're eating well, you're drinking water, you're taking walks, all the basic essentials that will help to keep you well. You're doing things for good mental health. You're going out into nature, reading a book and all of that. Music is great too. I like music. It really helps to help you really to be able to take good care of yourself. So, being unforgettable are the purposeful things that we do, the things that how we apply these things. And if we want people to remember you and in the positive way in which we do things, we have to keep in mind that it all comes down to how we treat ourselves and behave around people, which is something totally under our control. How do you treat yourself and how do you behave around people? That is totally under our control. What a lot of people have in common is uh, they usually make us experience strong positive emotions when we are in their company. But the moment that we leave, it falls off. If you're somebody who is unforgettable, you don't act. It's not a show you're putting up. It's not something you're doing when people are watching. But you do it anyway, whether people are watching or not. Um, because they love to spread positivity and are happy if they make you feel good. This is very, very important. How well are you spreading this positivity in your own relationship, in your own home, with your husband or with your wife or even your children? How well are you being unforgettable? I'm sure if I asked you all, you probably could tell us something your father or your mother did when you were a kid that you still remember till today. And most of the time, if we like talking about it, it's something that was made us laugh, brought back fond memories, or something that really put us in a great mood. So we have to always make sure that we are spreading this sense of positivity to people around us as well, and not living, in isolation and not connecting with people, because it's important that we make the people around us feel special, and not only that, make them also know that they are cared for. So, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will look at some other things that we can do to deepen how unforgettable we are. We'll be right back. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. My name is Akwesi Opong, and today we are talking about being an unforgettable husband or wife in our lesson or discussion today. We've given various examples of people who did exemplary things that made them very unforgettable, and I'm sure there's a whole list of people who did some negative things as well, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to look at people who did things and things that we can also do to make sure that we are unforgettable. And we've already established that being unforgettable does not mean that you're egotistical or you're selfish or you're trying to impose things on people, but it's genuinely things that come out of your heart where you want to really help people or help your spouse thrive or succeed. And that is very, very important. So, the rest of our time left, we want to look at some of the things that husbands can do to make them unforgettable. So we're trying to zone in here a little bit to look at the details. So the first thing I like to talk about is, it actually comes right from scripture, and it talks about, this is in Ephesians, it talks about husbands loving their wives. I've often said that the Bible makes it clear, because if it were easy, we wouldn't be told to do it. But the fact that husbands are told to love their wives means that there'll be many days you will not feel like loving. But we're being admonished and commanded to do so. So one thing that a husband can do to make you unforgettable is to always show love to your wife. And I say this because showing love doesn't mean you said, "Oh, I said it on our wedding day." No, that doesn't count. It means you have to keep affirming and reaffirming, and not only just saying it but acting it too. What are the things that you do? I've often said on this podcast about love languages. If you don't know what your spouse's love language is, just go online to 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman and go and review the resource. There's a quiz you can take. It's a free quiz. You can go on the site and take, and you will know. Your spouse can take that too, and based on that, you will know how to show love to your wife. And it's very important that we show love. Even when things are tough, it's difficult, even when you feel that your spouse hasn't been nice to you, we're still commanded to show love. And love sometimes means helping your wife with the children. Sometimes it means that you going out of your way to, take care of the home, or cleaning, or giving the children a bath, or whatever that will really help get your family through the day. It's one way that can make you as a husband very unforgettable. Another thing we can also do as men is lead our home. How well are we leading our home? How well are we laying out, a structure for our family to follow, when it comes to us men as leaders of our homes? Are we setting the course? Are we being an example, to our families? And this comes in so many ways, whether it's, making sure that, your family is protected, or your family is provided for. That's also another thing in itself that can make you unforgettable. Making sure that you're providing for your family. It's not very easy. I know men in our society today, we have our own set of challenges when it comes to how we're seen, and how we're beat down by the society and our perception, and sometimes we feel if we measure up and all of that. But having a positive attitude in all of this is key, and it's part of what also makes us very unforgettable. So make sure you're leading, make sure you are loving, and make sure you're providing for your home. Providing for your home is a key part of it. It's one of the things that will always ensure that you are an unforgettable husband, and you are making sure that your children are growing. And I think when it comes to families, another thing too that I'll say is that if you have children, being an example to your children, spending time with your children is also one thing that will definitely make you an unforgettable husband or father. So investing this will always help you be that wonderful husband that you have been called to be, you know. So let's make sure that in our everyday life, we're going to find ways to do little things that can help us achieve this, you know. What are the things that we do every day? You know, making sure that you're helping around the house, making sure that you are um, working hard, making sure that you are investing not only in your children but also in your wife. You know, I've often said that what are the goals that your wife has? Does she want to improve herself? How are you helping her to achieve that goal? You know, all of this will go a long way to help make you an unforgettable husband. So now let's switch to the wives. As a wife, what can make you unforgettable? And the first thing that comes to mind, it's again based on that scripture in Ephesians that talks about respect. Showing respect to your husband will definitely make you unforgettable. Because in our society today, you know, it's a word that we don't talk about. But the point here is talking about respect in a husband-wife relationship does not mean that one person is less than the other. It's just an institutional what is it hierarchy that it's established in relationship, just like it is at our places of work. I believe when you go to work, you don't make the same salary as the CEO and president of your company, and you don't park where they park. You don't have that big office they do. But we are fine with that. So when it comes to our relationship, we have to know that yes, it's a mutual relationship, but the husband is the head. He sets the tone. It doesn't mean you don't have an input or suggestion. You are freely open to do so. And I'm hoping and praying that's the situation. You know, you're able to contribute to the welfare in terms of your opinion, your views, and your thoughts to your relationship. But the point here is that that head, that authority in your relationship, it's always your husband. And acknowledging that is very important, you know. Dr. Emerson Etheridge talked about, you know, he has a whole book on love and respect, and he talks about a story of a lady who he encouraged to one day sign a card for her husband. And instead of saying, with all my love, sign it and say, with all my respect. And again, this is a challenge to the rest of you too, all the ladies out there. If you want to try this, sign a card for your husband and say, with all my respect, and watch his attitude. And if you are able to do that, maybe you can go on our website, enjoylifewithyourspouse.org, and let us know what happened. But it's gonna cheer him up. He's gonna be a different man because he's been made to know he's respected. You know, a man craves respect, just like a woman craves love, to be loved. So let us be aware of these things because they are a key part of what the founding, the building blocks of our relationship. Understanding the principle of love and respect is key in every relationship. It's going to help us thrive. It's going to help you be unforgettable. It's going to help you to overcome challenges as you grow in your marriage and in your relationship. So a few other things that I like to pass along as we round up. Friendship is another thing. You know, the value of being a friend in your relationship. And again, that's another topic we've discussed on this podcast about friendship, how to build friendship in your marriage. So you can go to enjoylifewithyourspouse.org and review that as well. But build friendship. If you ask yourself, how do you build friendship in your relationship? You know, that was what you did before you got married. If you've forgotten, you know, go back there. You know, you look forward to spending time together. You know, you share details of your life. At the end of the day, you can't finish to tell each other how your day went and the funny moments and the things that you were surprised to learn or things that you found out about your friends. And all of these things build friendship. You know, so if you build friendship in your relationship, it's going to help you to become unforgettable. You know, maintaining a positive view. I think we've talked quite a bit about that, having a positive view in everything that we do, you know. Not making your kids more important than your marriage. This is a very important one. You know, there's a quote that I like that said that build your home around your marriage, not around your children. Because guess what? Your children will grow and they will graduate and they will move out one day. Just as you moved out and today you are the head of your family or you are the mom in your family, the same way that your kids are also going to grow up and move out. So the key thing here is ensuring that you are establishing a home that is built around your marriage. And this is not to say be selfish and not do anything for your children and spend all your time with your spouse. The point here is that let your children know that there are boundaries, that mommy and daddy need their time. They need to invest in their relationship. They need to go out together as husband and wife, you know. I think it was Les and Leslie Parrott who said something when their children were young. I believe it was them. If I'm not, I stand corrected. But he had a son and a daughter, and I think the younger daughter said, "Well, why do mommy and daddy go out for a date night?" And the son said, "I don't know what they do, but it always ends up in a kiss." I think that's very romantic, especially at this time talking about Valentine this week. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that establish those important rules, that the two of you are also important. Don't make your relationship less important, you know. And if both of you do that, it also ensures that you are unforgettable. It also ensures that you are a very special person in your relationship. Be creative. I can't say that enough. Creativity comes in so many forms. You know, when these seasons come, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Easter, even Easter, whether it's Thanksgiving or Valentine, use these landmarks, your wedding anniversary, birthdays, you know, engagement anniversaries, or anything that you celebrate. Be creative. Let your creativity show through, and that will definitely help to make you unforgettable in your relationship. So I hope you learned something about being unforgettable today, and you are going to sit down and think of what you can do to be unforgettable in your own relationship. And not only in your relationship with your spouse, but also with your children, your community, your relatives. You know, there are so many things that we can do to make sure that we are sharing our lives and we're being that positive presence around people we care about. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Akwesi Opong, and we'll see you again next week. In the meantime, you can always review our resources at www.enjoylifewithyourspouse.org. Thank you and have a wonderful week.